In our military panel now, we're joined by General Richard Newton, the NewsNation national security contributor, and by Commander Kirk Lippold. He served as the commanding officer of the USS Cole when it was attacked by al-Qaeda in 2000. Thank you both for being here. I want you both to weigh in, General, on this video. We'll start with you, General, from Hamas of this interview, the interview on Lebanese television. Not only taking credit and reveling in the first attack on October 7th, but promising waves of new attacks. This seems to run counterproductive to this message that Hamas is trying to put out there that, oh, we're humane, we're treating the hostages humanely, we're feeding them, taking care of them. This was a really disturbing video interview. General Newton?
Oh, I'm sorry. I started waiting for the video. Yes, it was. You know, Elizabeth, this is very calculated. This is part of their efforts to continue frankly their war on terror. It's their information war campaign. You're seeing it being run very effectively. You've got very crisp and direct sound bites and so forth. And so they're running this information war campaign very effectively, not only in the region, but it's having a global impact. It's certainly creating some fervor on the streets around the region, but it also has a reach into the United States because it's actually pitting, inside the United States, those who are for supposedly Palestine, those who are the Palestinians, and those who are, pro-Israel and so forth. So this is just a page out of their book on terms of how they're doing not only the kinetic aspect of warfare, but now the information aspect of warfare.
And Commander, we now have the specter of Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu vowing to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth, and Hamas going on television to say we want to wipe Israel off the face of this earth.
You're absolutely right, Elizabeth. I mean, the general is correct. This is a very sophisticated information warfare campaign by Hamas. It's always difficult for democracies when they try to conduct information warfare, because anytime you try to shape public perception based upon facts, people are automatically suspect. And when you look at what Israel has to deal with, Hamas, people will seem to naturally believe them. We saw that in some of the news reporting that went on immediately after the supposed hospital strike. And even today, when you look at what is going on in Hamas, they are still shooting at innocent civilians. They still have their command and weapons storage underneath civilian infrastructure, using their own civilians and the Palestinian people as human shields. When Israel tries to point this out, people have a natural propensity not to believe them. So it is going to be incumbent upon the United States and other countries to continue to put the facts out there that show that Hamas is a terrorist organization.
In the meantime, Commander, when you talk about that, in this interview, Ghazi Hamad actually says, quote, "We did not want to harm civilians, but there were complications on the ground. There was a party in the area," he says. We're talking about them murdering babies and murdering and kidnapping women, gang raping women. What is he talking about? There were complications.
There's no complications. It is a bald-faced lie. He is counting on the fact that people are going to believe him over Israel. What they did was brutal beyond comprehension. It was equivalent, if not worse, than what ISIS was doing. And the fact that the world wants to believe Hamas instead of Israel, the United States, and other democratic nations just shows how powerful and sophisticated their information warfare campaign is. We will need to work continuously to put facts out there and make people see the brutality of what Hamas is doing to the Israeli people in trying to destroy that nation.
General Newton, do you think they'll continue with these interviews?
Absolutely, and let's climb up about 10,000 feet here. The real culprit here is Iran. Iran has established a ring of terror around Israel, and Kirk and I in our careers have experienced that, and certainly Kirk firsthand. You've got Hezbollah to the north in Lebanon. You've got Hamas in the Gaza area to the south, and you also have the Houthis, down in Yemen and so forth. The aim here is not just Hamas, but Iran and others who want to destroy Israel. And so there will continue this, not only with regard to this information war campaign, but Israel is really their national security, I believe, firmly is on the line here. They have to act. They have to do it, as best they possibly can in terms of preventing, loss of lives of civilians. But it's Kirk related. Civilians are now a legitimate target used by Hamas. They're used by Hezbollah. They're used by ISIS. They're used by al-Qaeda. It's just the new nature of warfare. Nothing is linear here now. We throw the book out the door. We just got to deal effectively with again, this terror campaign, both in the information warfare aspect and certainly in the ground aspect of this as well.
Well, thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.